So in that case, that for people, animals, and things. Okay, so you know who that, do you recognize that person? Who is that person? I think you do. Probably, maybe. So Shakespeare was a famous writer whose plays became famous around the world. So whose is used for possession. If we own something, or if it belongs to us, or if it's identified with us. So um, uh, we could say Koreans are a people whose food, kimchi, has become famous around the world. So Koreans don't necessarily own kimchi, right? But it's associated with them. So we could use that possessive relative pronoun, whose. Whose, okay? In this case, Shakespeare, the bard, his plays, whose plays have become famous around the world. Okay, a lovely hotel. And this is the hotel where we stayed on our holidays. Where we stayed on our holidays. Okay, lovely Snoopy and Charlie Brown and Linus sleeping in on Saturdays. Okay. Saturday is the only day when we can relax. So we can talk about time and use the word when. So when is used for time as well. Okay. So we can define and have defining and non-defining relative clauses. So I need a computer which works fast, or I need a computer that works fast. The school, which was built in 1929, has 100 students. She's the girl who lived next door. My brother, who is really good at swimming, won the race. And all of these clauses, of course, separated by commas. That's the CD that I bought yesterday. Yeah, I know CD. Do you guys still buy CDs? I sometimes do, but I think in Korea most people don't. Just download, right? Maybe 불법 download. And defining relative clauses. I need a computer which works fast. She's the girl who lives next door. So the second part of the clause defines the first part. So what kind of computer? One that works fast. Which girl? The one who lives next door. So they're necessary for the meaning of the rest of the sentence. That's why we call them defining. Defining. If you don't have them, the sentence loses its real essence, its real meaning. And non-defining relative clauses, a little bit different. The school, which was built in 1929, has 100 students. My brother, who's really good at swimming, won the race. A little bit more complex, right? A little bit more complex, but I'm sure you can get it. All we need to know about non-defining relative clauses is they give extra information about the sentence. A little bit more complex information about the sentence. They don't simply define the first part of the sentence, but they define it and they tell you some more information. So the defining part is the school, which was built in 1929. In the extra part of the sentences, has 100 students. In the second sentence, the defining part is who is really good at swimming, and the extra information is won the race. So do you see a little bit what the difference in those things? Of course you do. It's clear as day. Okay, well, yes, I know that some students had bought the workbook and they didn't buy the regular book, and that's fine actually. The workbook has some good stuff in it. So I just wanted to take some time because and do a little bit of the workbook. I think it has some good questions in it. And for those people who don't have the workbook, I just uploaded a picture of some of the questions. Okay, just uploaded a picture of some of the questions so you can follow along with this even if you don't have the workbook. So instead of just doing the regular book, let's take a look at the workbook for a moment. So I want you to if you have the workbook, look at the section 6 in Unit 3 about defining relative clauses. So it says, complete the sentences using that, who, or where. So number 1 says, it's the place blank I like to sit and read. You know that answer has to be where, right? And number 2 says, she's someone blank I can talk to. Someone is a person, so number 2, someone who I can talk to. 3, it's the thing blank you use for cutting food. It's a thing, so you're going to use that. That's the movie blank I told you about. Again, that, or, you could also use which here, but let's stick to just the 3 right now. This is the office blank we work, where we work. And number 6, that is the theater where I saw my first concert. In this case, we're going to think of theater as like a place where we go, right? He's the man who told me about the job. And that is the restaurant where we met. So I want to take some time and do some of those. I'm going to do some more of those also, but for right now, I wanted to take some time and do at least some of those for the students who have purchased this. Okay, and here's another section of the workbook. You can see it's very similar to the book that you have, and students who do have the workbook as well, you can follow along. If not, you can just listen and compare this to the exercises that are in the book. So this part is about the going to going to. Okay, present continuous going to talk about the future. So correct the mistake in each sentence. It says we leaving on Friday at 2 p.m. Leaving at Friday on 2 p.m. So what's wrong there? Of course, probably this is a little bit of a review, right? But we're using the present continuous to talk about the future. And in this case, what we have to do right after there, we need to include the being verb or the helping verb are. We are leaving on Friday at 2 p.m. Okay. And are you going to see Han this weekend? Are you going to see Han this weekend? So of course, go should get the ing. Are you going to see Han this weekend? I'm have lunch with my mother tomorrow. Again, change have to ing. Remember, we're talking about the future, but we're still going to use the present continuous. That's a kind of review for you, but we talked about it before. We talked about it with talking about the present usually. But I wanted to review this because it was on the midterm and people had a little bit of a problem with it. Okay. We is meeting in Central Park. Of course, we need a subject-verb agreement here. We are meeting in Central Park. Do they coming to the party tonight? We need to change that. Are they coming to the party tonight? Are they coming to the party tonight? I am flying to Hong Kong. Of course, should be I'm not or I am not flying to Hong Kong. He is to go to buy a new computer later. Ooh, that's a mess, right? What do? He is going to buy a new computer later. He is going to buy a new computer later. And you can barely see number 8, but I think you can still see it. It says, we aren't going drive through the mountain. We should write, we aren't going. We need the infinitive here, to drive. Okay, we aren't going to drive through the mountains. Okay, got it. Just a little bit of extra practice for you because it is in the workbook and I knew some students accidentally bought it or they got it with their book, so I wanted to use it a bit in our PowerPoints. It can be useful and it's like really cheap, I think like 5,000 won or something. So it's a kind of cool extra tool to study some of these grammar parts, especially since we don't get a chance to do a lot of the listening and stuff in class because we don't have a class. Okay, guys, so this is one part of the assignment, one part of the book that we haven't done yet. So if you look at page 28 and page 29, we're going to answer some questions about the celebrity chef Jamie Oliver. As you can see here, I've chosen the picture with, if you can't see, it got cut off a little bit, but Jamie there is he is eating at a banchan restaurant in Korea. You're probably familiar with Jamie Oliver as a celebrity chef, right? Celebrity, of course, meaning a very famous person, and chef meaning somebody who cooks, right? Somebody cooks for a living. So in English, we have two words for a person who cooks. One is chef, and what's the other one? Yeah, it's a cook. A cook. Cook is a little bit like a little bit lower level meaning, and a chef somehow sounds a little bit nicer to us. Okay, so we're going to talk about Jamie Oliver's cooking in some project that he's done. So I'm going to read some of the story on page 28. I want you guys to read some of it also yourself. And follow along with the parts that I do read, okay? Follow along with the parts that I do read. So, food lovers everywhere love the celebrity chef Jamie Oliver. One big reason is his simple, easy, and above all, tasty recipes, which he puts together in some excellent cookbooks. Good food has always been very important in Jamie's family. His parents had a pub in the southeast of England, and from the age of 8, he started cooking and helping the chefs. Okay, so he starts a pub. We know a pub, right? It's a kind of bar. His family had started a pub, and he's been helping them. So in the next part, what do we have here? It says, not long ago, he started a new project. He opened a restaurant called 15 in East London. He gave himself 9 months to take a group of unemployed 16 to 24-year-olds without any cooking experience and make them into some top-class chefs. Okay, I want you guys to read the next part to yourselves. Okay, and let's start on the next column. The project also became a TV series called Jamie's Kitchen, which millions of people watched. One of the real success stories was Carrie Ann Dunlop. Originally, she didn't get into college, which is like a kind of early university or late high school in England. But after Jamie took her on, everything changed. Okay, well, read the rest of that part to yourself, okay? Finish it up for yourself. I want you guys to be able to get the reading comprehension. It helped to read it out loud, right? Okay, so you pause the video and you can read it. And then we're going to answer the questions. Pause. Okay, welcome back. So let's try to answer the questions below. Why is Jamie Oliver's food successful? Why do you think Jamie Oliver's food is successful? Well, that's a hard one. Well, the secret is probably that his recipes are simple, easy, and tasty. If they're simple, then it's not hard to understand how we make them. And if they're tasty, of course, everybody wants to try them. When did Jamie start cooking? Jamie started cooking at the age of 8, remember? His parents had a pub. I think pub is kind of similar to like a Korean anju restaurant, right? So I think in that way, British and Korean food culture is a little bit similar. He started cooking when he was 8 at that pub, right? He was helping the chefs out. Who did Jamie employ as chefs at his restaurant, or in his project, as we say? Unemployed 16 to 24-year-olds. So maybe some young people who didn't have a good prospects, right? Maybe they didn't finish high school or didn't go to university, and he took them and he made them into great chefs. Do you think you guys would do good in that situation? Some people are more school people and some people are not. Right? Some people might do better in this kind of situation just working in a restaurant as a chef, right? What is surprising about Carrie Ann's story? Do you remember Carrie Ann? What was special about her? That's right, she didn't get into college. She didn't get into college, but she was very successful in Jamie's restaurant. So remember again, college in British English, I think, is something a bit different than what we say in American English. In American English, college just means like 대학교. It just means 대학교. So, but in British English, it's something a bit different. It's like between high school and university. So but she didn't get into that. And how does she feel about Jamie? She feels he's like a big brother and a best friend, right? Like a oppa. They're very close to each other. Very, very close to each other. Okay, well, look there also at the bottom. There are some words here, some kind of vocabularies and expressions in columns A and column B, right? Column A and column B. The first column is already done for you. It says a real success story. So a success story in English, we usually mean something that is somebody who grew from having nothing or no skills and grew to be like a very, not necessarily just a rich person, but just a very successful person. Often we mean rich, but not always. Okay, so the next one says top class chef. You might say A1, the best, right? High level chef, very skilled. And the next one says no previous experience, or no previous cooking experience in our case, right? But no previous experience. So they didn't know how to cook. They had never cooked before, but he took them with no previous experience and he trained them. Open a what? Open a restaurant, right? We can open a restaurant, open a cafe. It means to start a business. Carrie Ann wants to start hers. And the last one, of course, is work abroad. Work abroad meaning Heiwei, in a foreign country. So she wants to work abroad. Probably, she said, in New York or America. So these are kind of expressions could be on the test. So if you have questions about them, please ask me in our Zoom class. Okay, but I think pretty straightforward, right? Pretty easy to understand. Okay. And next, page 29 in your book. I want you guys to, for homework, please do the grammar sections 4 and 5. It's on the grammar going to, like are you going to, which we talked about a bit. We talked about a bit before, but I would like you to do that. And please do the speaking on page 30. Prepare some answers for me. I want you to prepare these for the Zoom class. Remember, we're going to do another Zoom class. So in this time, we're going to try to do some conversation groups in the Zoom class. So prepare some answers on going to talk about your plans for 1, the summer, 2, next year, and 3, graduation. Hopefully, if there's no virus in the summer, we have some plans. Talk about, I want you to use the construction going to, okay? Going to. So this is going to be your Zoom homework. So you have like 2 weeks to do this one. A lot of time to do this one. And next, I want you guys to look at page 30 and 31. I want you to read or listen to the story Big Night and to review relative clauses and answer the questions. Okay. And do part 7 on page 31, answer the questions about relative clauses. And this is important. I want you to take a photo of your finished homework and upload it to our class portal for points, okay? Within 1 week, okay? I want you to upload it to the class portal within 1 week. It's not very hard, but it can help you to understand how to use relative clauses a little bit more because it's going to be on the quiz and it's going to be on the midterm test. Okay? Okay, reminders before we go today. We are just about finished, but reminders, there's a quiz on the week of May 20th. So it's going to be same like the last quiz. It's just based on some things that we talk about, so everything is fresh in your memory once we get time for the final test, okay? So that's going to be on May 20th, the week of May 20th. So, you know, it's going to be, I think the week of May 20th for you guys, you know, it'll be different depending on your class, but I'll probably start it on May 20th, okay? May 20th, and you'll have 3 or 4 days to take it. I'm not sure exactly, but it's going to be on the week of May 20th, the week of May 20th. So that's, yeah, I'll probably start it on like the 21st, and you'll have 3 days to take it. Okay, that'll be on our class portal as usual. Do the book homework on page 30, speaking. That's for our Zoom class, and that's going to be on the week of May 11th. It's going to be the same as before. During your class time, we're going to have Zoom class again. Please remember, turn your camera on, put your makeup on, comb your hair, and take a shower so that you're ready to talk. You get the points only if you talk and show your face. Please do page 31, part 7. That's about relative clauses. Is very short. I think it takes 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And take a photo and upload it to our class portal before May 8th. So you've got homework due on May 11th and May 8th, the week of May 11th and by May 8th. So one homework assignment every week. It's not a lot. And please do our class survey before May 8th, okay? It takes 2 minutes on our class portal. It's about the test, whether you thought the test was really, really easy or really hard, or whether it's fair. You don't have to do it, but if you remember, you're going to get 5 extra points if you do it before May 8th, okay? If you do it before May 8th. So, remember, guys, we are counting down. It's almost time to finish. Again, if you have any questions about anything, send me an email. Please come to the Zoom class if you can. You don't have to, but, you know, the students who come to Zoom class, you know, we have a lot of opportunities for Zoom class. If you don't come, then you can't ask questions, and then we can't really get to know each other. So I really, really do appreciate if you come. Okay? So, lovely talking to you guys. Look forward to seeing you very soon. Don't stress. I'm here for you. Look forward to seeing you in the Zoom class. Okay? Fighting!